All right, so now I'm going to talk about our opening pages here. This here, what we're looking at here is my PDF of my ultimate finished project. And as you can see, there are 6 pages that come before page 1. We have our initial title page, our copyright page, uh, title page, a map, and we've got our table of contents, then a blank page, and then we start on page 1, which is not even labeled page 1 because it's a chapter page. I left the number off of it. So let's talk about how we do all that stuff. First, we're going to go ahead, right click on our pages section. We're going to go insert pages. Estimate how many you want. I'm going to do 6. Once again, you can change this at any point in time. Go ahead and go before page 1 and set no parent. If you set parent as a parent, then they're just going to look the same as these pages with page numbers and everything. You don't want that. So you're going to go none and then click OK. And it's going to create these pages. Now, of course, it's still going to consider this to be page 7, which you don't want. So you're going to go to the thumbnail for this page, which is page 7, right click. You're going to click on numbering and section options. You're going to click here on start page numbering at 1. Okay. Then it's going to give you a warning. Don't worry about that. Cool. So this is now page 1 with 6 additional pages before it. Now, you can go ahead and put a text box in here, and you can type the name of your work, and you can, whatever font you're working with, and then you can center it in the page. You don't want to actually center it. You want to offset a little bit to the right. Once again, that'll be something you fudge around with once you have an actual template to work with based on your printer. You're going to type in all your copyrighted information here. I'll just go ahead and copy paste that from where I have it over here. Cool. I'll throw my map in here. Inserting an image is just the same as inserting an image in any other word processor. You can copy paste it. You can drop it in from Windows Explorer. What I did here actually with this map, though, is after my first printing, I noticed that the blacks were coming out very, very, very dark. So I right click. Sorry, you want to go to this direct selection tool. Right click and effects, transparency. I just dropped the transparency down to 95. It's just a little bit lighter on the page. It's going to look less, inky. As for my actual main title page, that was another image file that I had, the graphic itself, because I had created the typeset for the title, and I didn't want to have to replicate it every time. So I just made an image file. Now keep in mind, as you can see, I keep grabbing my direct cursor, and if you drag the image, it'll disappear outside of the text box that it's contained within. So you want to grab your actual selection tool, grab your frame and move that, because that'll move the frame along with the image that's inside it. Once again, center it up on the page and maybe a little bit to the right. There you go. All right. Now we're going to talk about our table of contents. Okay. You're going to go layout, table of contents. Contents here is whatever you want it to say at the top of the page. Doesn't really matter. Go ahead and set your basic paragraph style there. Entry style, again, basic paragraph style. And now what you have here, it can subdivide your book automatically, which saves you a lot of time and effort. I used to just enter everything manually, look at my page numbers and enter those manually. And then if my page counts changed, I was altering every single chapter, re-entering the numbers. And that's just kind of a pain. So this is easier. I go ahead and hit chapter, add. And what that does is it looks at your paragraph style that represents your subdivisions. And it's nice to have this check too, create PDF bookmarks, because then you can just jump right to that chapter interactively. So hit OK, and your cursor is now going to be the placement for where you want to put those contents. So go ahead and just click on this page, and they're all going to be here. Now you're going to have to do some extra work with this, of course. Now, if you take a look at what I had done in my actual book, I have it all organized a little bit differently. Of course, I did enter it all manually here, which is a pain. But I figured it was just kind of easier for me to manage. I have a separate text box for my chapter numbers. I have a separate text box for my chapter titles. And then, of course, my page numbers over here. And you can do that if you want. That would just kind of require organizing these a bit, naming these 1, 2, 3, 4. Then once we have all those numbered, we can go ahead and once again, kind of a time-consuming process. We go, copy the title, go back to our chapter, paste that in there, rename them, and then here's what I would do is probably once you have that done, just copy paste your text box a couple times. We'd have one that's just numbers. God, it's times like this I wish there weren't so many chapters in this book. 28 didn't sound like a lot, but then you're going through and formatting them all and you're like, why? Do another one that's just your chapter titles and not the numbers. And then finally, you can just do one that's only your page numbers, and it'll look something like all right. Then you put all your text box together. Yeah, let's get rid of these up here. Who needs them? There's a whole bunch of ways to do this. Obviously, this is just the way I found keeps it kind of clean and organized, and you're not having to do multiple spaces or tabs, to keep it organized. You have to line it up a little bit better than I did. But, ultimately, you just want to end up with something that looks customized in the way that you want it. Everyone loves a good-looking table of contents. I'm just going to copy-paste the one that I made because I like my original one much better. Boom. And there you go. A nice table of contents. So yeah, that's the essentials of the book. It's pretty much print ready at this point, with a few exceptions, which I'll go into next time.